Now, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, April 8th, 2023. What do we see coming through in the cards for today? Let's start with the first 5 cards in our 5-card spread. That is not one card. We need to do that again. Can I please have one card, please? One card. First card coming out is the Judgment card. Big decisions to be made today, choices to be made. This actually aligns a lot with the cards of the day that we've been seeing, particularly since over the last 2 days we saw that we got the World card in combination with that Hierophant in its reversal. So there are big changes that are happening around you right now, and they may be requiring some big decisions. These decisions are being led from a lot of the things that you've had leading up to this moment, but you're also kind of been guided to take these steps necessary, knowing and feeling the security right now of these choices that you're making, coming from a point of divine protection as they lead you on your highest path. Continuing to get clarification on our cards right now. The next card we have coming through in our 5-card spread is the Magician in its reversal. So even as you are going through this moment right now of having to make some big decisions, there is some anxiety at play as it relates to your own ability to do so or to move forward from this point. These could be some feelings of self-doubt that are rising up. Frequently when we see the Magician, there's anxiety around the tools that the Magician has, feeling that they might not necessarily have the tools necessary to manifest or create the things that they're trying to create. This is a good reminder, if you're feeling like this, that you have the secret ingredient in terms of these choices that you're making is with you all along. It is inside of you. So keep that in mind as well. I will also point out frequently when we see this Magician card in its reversal in the Judge and also in alignment with the Judgment, this could be also be making some decisions or determinations based on some areas right now in your life that you are concerned you are not necessarily being shown the whole picture, or maybe even feeling like there is some more manipulative energy occurring around these spaces. So this is what is also giving you some insight and guiding your path, while also potentially creating some feelings of doubt as you continue further from this point. The next card we have coming through right now in our 5-card spread is, wow, 4 of Swords in its reversal. So this could specifically have something to do with some situations or scenarios from the past, re-emerging from the surface, coming back up. And this might be an emotional resurfacing that's occurring. So something that is kind of rising back up in your own emotional or mental space right now that you are trying to recalibrate and build some new decisions or make some new judgments on based on how you're perceiving them now. Maybe even seeing them in a way that is different or a different perspective that is now making you feel like there may be more like manipulative elements around it. Or this could be a actual tangible situation or circumstance from the past coming back up today that needs to be consulted or dealt with so that you can proceed further on your path. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Thank you so much. The next card we have coming through in our cards right now is the 2 of Swords in its reversal. So what we are really seeing here is there is a moment right now that you are being guided forward, that a lot of what we're seeing here is making a decision or a determination right now based on your own intuitive guidance. So whatever is coming back up right now, whatever is resurfacing, it is resurfacing specifically so that you can take this action that you may have been feeling intuitively guided to go down now. You are feeling the weight of making these decisions. You are ready to make these decisions. You are having some different perspectives, even though you were feeling potential some doubts on these in the past. But now is the moment that you're allowing yourself to cut whatever cords you need to cut so that you can proceed down this path. Because a lot of this action that you may be taking right now may have to deal with cutting of cords or removing of obstacles as you go forward, because this is very much a card of action. The next card we have coming through right now in our 5-card spread is Knight of Swords in its reversal. So what we are really seeing here is there is a moment right now that may have to do with some outside energy, bearing in mind that, and it may have to do with some masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. And it will feel a bit different depending on whether you align to masculine or feminine energy. For masculine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that is creating some walking back or some anxiety. We saw some of this anxiety in the card of the day that we've been receiving, both with that back and forth energy that we saw with the King of Swords coming up upright and then coming back up in its reversal. There's something around this energy right now with the masculine that is creating some uncertainty in terms of how to proceed forward. And we're seeing that even as they're experiencing it, there is some judgments that they're making from this point, potentially even pulling away or pulling back from some areas right now based on the judgment that they're making and based on the energy that they feel are around those and whether or not they feel they want to proceed in those directions. While for feminine right now, this is them taking some very decisive action, specifically around potentially some energy connected to their past, around a masculine energy that they do not feel is coming forward in a upfront way, or in a way that feels like it is positively assertive enough for what they are ideally intending. And something about this circumstance or situation is creating a bit of a blocker in terms of what the feminine energy can do. And we're seeing here that this is the moment that the feminine is just taking the moment to cut any energy they don't feel is coming towards them in the capacity that they would ultimately desire. Continuing to get some clarity on these cards right now. Clarification between the Judgment card and our Magician in its reversal. So making some very big decisions today, specifically either around situations or circumstances that you feel are limiting you in terms of how you can navigate, or specifically having some feelings of doubt or anxiety cropping up as you are making these choices and decisions for yourself, potentially even with some relationality or direction towards some anxieties about not necessarily seeing the whole picture, or feeling like there's energies that are potentially trying to manipulate you or create some kind of like obfuscation in terms of how you proceed. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Ace of Swords in its reversal. A lot of reversed ace energy here, sword energy here today. All of the sword energy is reversed, to be honest, so that's very intriguing. But what we're really seeing here is that there is a need and a call right now for an act of surrender, a letting go that is going to bring with it a better sense of victory. This is the shedding of something that is not serving you, that is allowing you to make these determinations, because we see here that it isn't serving you and it's not allowing you to move in the way that you would want to ideally operate. It's not allowing you to have your confidence. This is where we see that energy coming through. Continuing to get clarification between our Magician card in its reversal in combination with our Five of Swords in its reversal. So again, some situations and circumstances rising up from the past, taking a true look at them, really analyzing, feeling some frustration in terms of potentially how you wanted them to go, potentially the way you wanted them to change, or even potentially trying to do this now and feeling some frustration as you're trying to navigate the position they put you in. Maybe even potentially looking at how some of these situations and circumstances now are having some optics that you are potentially seeing about feeling like they carried some more manipulation energy around them that you may not have experienced or really recognized in the past. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with a Three of Wands. Why do you feel like this? Well, the answer is clear. There was something about these situations or circumstances from the past that never allowed you the clear optics on terms of what that future would look like. This is why we see this shedding process is so important and vital right now, because what we're really seeing is this acknowledgement that something here was not what it appeared to be, because it never was showing you where it was going to go. And it was some kind of limitation in terms of this long-term view, or this blockage that is both arising it to your own surface right now so you can perceive it again, and also feeling some potential frustrations in terms of what you were able to do with it, while simultaneously acknowledging that there may have been something intentional in your own inability to take action in the way that you would desire around them. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Four of Swords in its reversal in combination with a Two of Swords in its reversal. So these moments, these past situations, these past circumstances rising up either internally in your own memory as you are processing, or quite externally. Maybe something, situation coming from the past, coming right to your doorstep today. But allowing this to be that moment of cutting cords, of taking a swift, decisive action, of allowing your intuition to speak and to give you the directive action that you need to confront these situations from the past that are rising back up to the surface. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with a Two of Pentacles. 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 Okay, this makes sense. I understand why. Why is this work happening right now? Why is this work happening right now? Why are these things coming up? Why now? Why now, you might ask? Well, this is why. The reason these are coming up for you right now, the reason you're allowing yourself to have these moments come up right now in your experience so that you can cut things off is because, baby, you got too much to do. Look at you. What's happening right now is you are now overwhelmed with new priorities, new plans, new choices. And it is becoming too overwhelming. It's becoming, there's too many slices to a certain extent. There's too many slices right now. And in this way, because your hands are so full in the present, this is what's finally allowing these past situations to rise up and for you to finally take the action that you require on them. Because it's more like you're just like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for these things from the past to come up because you're becoming so busy in the present, which we love. We love. Let's continue to get clarification on these cards. Clarification. Sit. Somebody. Clarification between this Two of Swords in its reversal in combination with the Knight of Swords. This is some hairy energy right here, so people better watch their necks today. Because what we're really seeing here is, and it's going to feel a bit different for feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind it's not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine right now, this is coming through as this ability right now to take swift, decisive action, following your intuition, specifically around manifestations of masculine energy that you do not feel is coming towards you with the authenticity, with the integrity, or with the expediency that you would desire. Just sit. While for masculine energy right now, this is you having a moment of pulling back your energy, following your higher intuitive guidance around cutting away from certain situations or scenarios right now. May I please get one card to clarify? Oh boy, oh boy. Clarification coming right now. Cards don't lie. Cards don't lie. It's a freeing process. I told you, it's a surrender. It's a freeing process. Why? Why is feminine doing this right now? I just told you because feminine's got too much on their hands right now. They're way too busy with the things in their present, and they're now kind of they're cutting out energy that is not coming through in the degree or in the capacity that they would ideally desire because they've got other things to do. And this moment is what's allowing them to remove themselves from situations that they don't feel is serving a higher purpose. If you're just creating, I got to warn you right now, if you're in a space right now where you're just creating nothing but grief for a feminine energy, you better watch out. Because what we're really seeing here is this is the moment that the feminine energy is just going to be like, bye, I'm done. Because there's a feeling here of their feeling like a cycle is complete, that there's no better lessons, that there's no bigger gift coming. There's no higher power, no higher insight coming from these experiences with this energy. So this is what's allowing the feminine to follow their intuitive guidance and to start to do these movements for themselves right now. While for masculine energy, what we're really seeing right now is this is a moment where you are feeling some intuitive guidance to pull back, to pull away, to cut away from certain energies. We're even seeing for masculine right now because you have too many priorities right now. So this is almost like a pruning or a required like cutting back, following that higher guidance, and actually also doing so in places that are giving some sense of anxiety, maybe even some fear or some feelings of doubt. That is what you are using as your barometer right now as to what you are moving away from. And this cutting is simply going to really be reflective or showing as you pulling back your energy or pulling away from things right now in a large degree, feeling like you are having this moment of not necessarily needing to stay in any other situations because you feel like you've gotten all the insight that you need. You've seen everything that you need to see. They're starting to feel uncomfortable. And so you are just moving, you're just pulling yourself out of them. May even feel like a bit of a ghost to a certain extent. You're like, I'm just going to disappear now, like running in the other direction from these places because you feel like you've gleaned everything that you need to glean. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our Ace of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Three of Wands in its reversal. So, again, a moment of release, a moment of clearing, cutting back and cutting away from things that are not giving you the optics, the transparency about what that ideal future outcome looks like, and using this blockage as this moment of surrender, of walking away, letting it almost be like, if you can't see what's happening, you can't see what that long-term plan is, that's what's going to be your release moment for you right now today. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our High Priestess in its reversal. So this could feel a little hairy depending on, well, it's going to feel hairy for feminine and masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. The reason that feminine is moving away from the circumstances or situations that are not allowing them this ability to see into what the long-term plans are, what the path is. It's simply an acknowledgement for feminine right now that this puts them in a space that they cannot operate functionally from a higher intuitive and insight-based perspective. Which seems makes pretty perfect sense, right? It's this moment where feminine's recognizing, saying, look, if I can't see, if I can't anticipate, if I'm not being given the clarity or the tools that I need to be able to see what that long-term path is, well, this is clearly not a place I can be, because this is clearly a place that that the feminine energy cannot manifest in their highest degree and their highest potential, which is allowing for this act of surrender to occur that's leading to the victory, because the victory would be the feminine coming back into the upright here. Well, for the masculine energy, what we're really seeing right now is that this is a moment that you are having a place where you are feeling that you need to release something because you are not seeing you're not seeing that future. You're not seeing this long-term aspect, specifically because there's something around and this could be related to a manifestation of feminine that you feel isn't coming from a place of higher intuition or insight, or maybe even feeling like this energy in some way, shape, or capacity is blocking your own ability to see further out in this direction. So that this, for feminine right now, this is moving so that you can get this clarity. For masculine right now, this is moving away from potential energy that you feel is intentionally blocking you. So there is some mirroring here, but definitely for different reasons. But very similar to a certain extent. Continuing, because we also see that Magician in its reversal. So it's very intriguing that we see both the Magician and the High Priestess in its reversal, because there's something here. It's what's really almost happening is, in a way, we're seeing that the masculine energy is coming through in a way that they feel like that lack of ability to see forward is creating a block in what they can do. While for feminine, it's a block in what they can plan, what they can see. So that's very intriguing. Continuing to get clarification between our Three of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Two of Pentacles. So again, this could feel like a bit of a frustrating energy, because we are seeing here there is still a feeling right now of some anxiety or doubt or inability to see forward in some perspective right now, and also feeling like you just got your hands full, having a lot of obligations, a lot of priorities, maybe even feeling a need to have to set some priorities because you're feeling like your energy is being pulled in different directions, or having to keep some kind of separateness in your life right now as you balance these oppositional priorities. And that's what's creating a bit of this blockage in seeing forward as well. May I please get, one card to clarify. Intriguing. This is resulting in a reciprocity of energy with the Six of Pentacles. So what we're really seeing here is, even while you're currently experiencing moments right now that you're not being able to see the full optics in terms of the path going forward, and you are feeling very overwhelmed to a certain extent, or feeling like your own attention and priorities are being pulled into two different directions. This is a moment that you are turning your attention towards those energies that you feel are being most reciprocal towards you. Allowing yourself to have that assistance come into play, paying a lot of attention to those energies you feel are creating the sense of assistance and support around you right now. And also finding areas that you are trying to do so in kind. Maybe even feeling like to a certain extent that you're trying to pay it forward in a way, hoping that by you kind of trying to give this to others, it may return back to you in some way, shape, or form. Continuing to get clarification on these points right now, clarification between our Two of Pentacles in combination with our Hangman in its reversal. A moment right now that you are, again, you're feeling the overwhelming weight or of some kind of balancing of priorities, maybe feeling like you're being pulled in too many directions at once, feeling like a bit overwhelmed as you try to balance oppositional priorities, but potentially using this as an opportunity to walk away from things that are not serving you right now. Really potentially because of this state of overwhelm, using your insight to cut back on the things that are not your highest priority, feeling like there may be some situations or circumstance in your life that is just creating just discomfort or weight without actually providing anything higher. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Sun in its reversal. So this is a moment right now where we are seeing that you are freeing yourself from any circumstances or situations that are creating a sense of upset, of anxiety. Thank you for the gift. Of anxiety, of disappointment, of potential depression, anything that's creating these lower points for you right now. This is what we see that you are moving away from right now. Because again, it's almost like you are feeling like you don't have the bandwidth to be in this low energy right now because you got too many things on your plate. And it's almost like you have no room for the things that are going to be making you feel low or sad or in this lower energy vibration. Which, it's a good reason to move forward in that capacity. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our High Priestess in its reversal in combination with a Six of Pentacles. So there could be a moment right now that, again, you are being called to kind of be able to be in a place where you can be more charitable or offer some kind of charity or support in a way, but also feeling some potential anxieties around this right now, putting a lot of care and attention, and potentially feeling a bit different for feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine right now, this could be feelings of anxiety in terms of where you should be putting your energy or who you should be kind of lending support to, feeling this concern around trying to use your higher insight to make these deductions and decisions. While for masculine energy right now, we are seeing that there is this anxiety potentially coming into play about wanting to be generous around certain energies, but feeling like there is a feminine that is around you right now that either isn't necessarily in communication with you or allowing you to be generous in this capacity, or potentially trying to reach out to a feminine in this way to get support, but feeling some sort of blockage here and trying to find potentially the solution by over investing, by being charitable in some degree or fashion. Almost like an overshare to an energy in order to get them to share to share in kind. Bottom of the deck. Not bottom of the deck. What am I saying? The card to clarification is our Justice card in its reversal. So there's an imbalance at play here. For feminine, there is a lot of attention being paid right now to creating a sense of balance. And there may even be feelings of anxiety that if they were to kind of go forward and be charitable be over charitable to a degree, it may create a further sense of imbalance, which is why there is this anxiety right now around the feminine in terms of where they're putting their time and their energy as it relates to their own bandwidth and assistance. While for masculine right now, this is a moment where the masculine energy could be feeling like they are sharing a lot right now, but not necessarily getting back to the same degree around a manifestation of feminine that they may be feeling is holding back, or not necessarily like being as open as they would desire. And this is the moment where they're trying to correct that imbalance by, again, like almost paying it forward, by almost like over delivering to get this energy to like basically like open up to it, or be more open is what we're really seeing. Continuing to get, this could also be feeling for the masculine energy like the feminine energy is holding back on some higher secrets. I will point that out as well. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Six of Pentacles in combination with the Sun card in its reversal. So having some doubts and fears and anxieties coming up to the surface, maybe even some like low energy, specifically as it relates to where you are pouring your own time and energy and resources, kind of being very cautious around this, wanting to come forward and be charitable to it a certain extent, but maybe even feeling some kind of prevention or block based on your own mental headspace that is causing some kind of disruption point here. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. Woo! I love seeing this card in its reversal because what we're really seeing here is with the Seven of Swords, we are seeing that even in this moment where you're feeling this low point, potentially around like sharing or fears potentially around oversharing, this is an opportunity, a moment that you are committing not to go back to situations or circumstances that have caused you pain in the past. So for some of you, this could be a moment right now, and you could be using some of that judgment energy that we see here to like let those past experiences give you some kind of informing truth to make sure that you're not putting yourself back in those situations that have caused you grief or pain in the past. While for some of you, this is more of a direct, immediate action where like you're making the willful choice not to go back to situations or circumstances or provide things in these areas that have caused you any degree of difficulty. And that in this way, you're almost over committing to this right now because there's some association to this like negative feeling that you're experiencing and some of these past circumstances. That's why you're having fears here about either repeating situations that you're coming into now or pushing back against wanting to go back to difficult situations, but recognizing that you shouldn't. Final card for today's spread, clarification between our Justice card in its reversal in combination with our Seven of Swords in its reversal. So, going through a moment where you are feeling some kind of deep imbalance, potentially trying to work very hard to correct an imbalance. But, and this is where we might be seeing some like new breaking of conventional approaches from the cards of the day, and also this like judgment point. Trying to correct an imbalance without going back to doing the things that you may have done in the past to try to correct the balance that just hurt you in the long run. Right? This is where that new approach is. This is like, wait, how do I correct this imbalance that I'm feeling, but without going back and doing it the way that it used to that would hurt me, or going back to situations or circumstances that were hurting me, that were causing this imbalance in the first place. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with a King of Pentacles. So what we're really seeing here, and this is going to feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind it's not based on gender, but what do you feel most aligned to? Thank you so much for the gift. Is for feminine energy, a lot of this moment that you're doing right now, that as you're going through this, as you're working through trying to correct this imbalance, not going back to the situations and issues from the past that have caused you any kind of pain or grief or anxiety, we see here that this is a returning of attention towards a representation of masculine that you feel does come through as a stable, supportive system. This could be a new energy rising up, or some kind of energy in some degree that is allowing you or supporting you from making these new choices for yourself, for making these adjustments, with a focus on bringing this type of energy in if it's not currently here, or in putting a lot of attention on a manifestation that's coming through in this way that's helping inspire you to make these choices for yourself. While for masculine energy right now, we are seeing that there is a moment coming through that you are addressing some deep imbalances in your life with the commitment not to go back to situations and circumstances that have caused you pain in the past. All to the event of reinvesting in your own self, putting this time and attention into yourself, trying to create this stable, supportive system environment within yourself so that you don't need to go back to these places that were causing any of these imbalances around you. Bottom of the deck on this reading for today. There she is. There she is, the counterpart to our King of Pentacles. So it's going to feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. So for masculine energy right now, what we are really seeing is there is a moment that the masculine energy is redoubling a lot of their concentration in creating this supportive environment for themselves. But some of the imbalance and a lot of the things that they're pushing against, we see this here with a lot of these reversals here, is pushing against some concentrated energy towards a manifestation of feminine, that they feel that to one degree or another isn't providing them or isn't offering them the stability and support that they are seeking, nor give, and this is what we're almost seeing, like something about them creating this support for themselves is almost like indirect counter opposition to an energy they feel isn't providing it to them at this time. Either this energy is pulled back from them and isn't offering it to them, they're not offering them tangibles, or they're like an energy that's like literally given some evidence of trying to create instability around them at some point in the past. While for feminine right now, this is feeling that you are putting a lot of concentration right now towards a manifestation of masculine that is in this stable role, either manifesting it for yourself right now or putting a lot of attention towards one that is currently around you, because you yourself are not in a moment where you're feeling particularly stable. And you're almost being able to kind of, like I said, we see a lot of this activity that you're almost doing right now is to try to match some of this energy that you're trying to manifest towards you right now. That is our daily collective read for the day. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. I would also like to remind you at this time that I will never reach out to you for readings. The only way that you can book a reading with me is through my website. Please be safe. I want to thank you guys so much for having this reading with me, and we will do this again tomorrow.